So your pelvic floor is the sling at the base of your pelvis. There are lots of muscles going different directions, and a lot can be going on with your pelvic floor. It can be too tight, it can be too loose, it can even be different side to side. But whatever is going on, these movements will bring balance. They'll get you stacked in rib cage and pelvis, reestablish your rhythm of natural functional breathing, and that generates intra-abdominal pressure so that you have a solid, stable core and your pelvic floor reclaims its power and spring. Now, with this sequence, there are some outer hip and hamstring strengthening movements because these stabilize your pelvis, ground the sitting bones, and then you have an anchor so your pelvic floor can spring again. So be ready for that. There are 5 movements. You're going to roll and release, do tree slides, butterfly bridge, clamshells, core press, and pedal. For these movements, I recommend a blanket over your mat. You could also do this on a carpet or rug. And then you're going to use a myofascial release ball. This is an alpha ball. And you're going to sit on the ball and you're going to roll along the sitting bones. And you may even be able to work near the pelvic floor, along the sacrum. If you want a little bit more, you can cross your ankle over your thigh, and that can bring some more excitement. You might want to roll onto the outer hip. I tend to be very tight here. And then spend as much time as you like doing this roll and release. I'm going to change sides for the sake of the video. And in the beginning, this is likely to feel very sensitive. Over time, it's going to be less intense. And that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you need to apply more pressure. It just means that the connective tissue you are rolling is opening. Now, when you're complete with the rolling, you're going to lay down, legs out straight. Hands will be interlaced and cradle your head. Let your feet naturally drop open. And then you're going to bring the right leg up into a tree shape, extend the right leg out, and do that a few times. And notice how my knee stays open, the movement's very smooth. Resist kind of lifting the knee up to get the leg farther in, or kind of reaching a point where your body says enough and you kind of hop the foot. It's this sliding movement that allows the tight tissue in the inner groin, inner thigh, and even the pelvic floor to release. Do many of these, and the clunkier and more awkward this is, the more I recommend you do. Also have a long view for these exercises, that they're going to get better and better over time. And then over to the second side. Left leg drops out. You're going to slide the leg in and out. For me, this is my clunkier side these days. It tends to go from like 0 to 60 in my outer hips. So I'm going to slow down the movement so it feels like the leg is lifted on puppeteer strings. And again, I'm only going as far as I can keep the knee wide and I have a true slide. After a few more, you're going to release, relax, and unpack the arms. Take a moment to notice any release of tension in the low belly, maybe even the pelvic floor or outer hips. Next is the strengthening movement, and we're going to call it butterfly bridge. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together in that butterfly position. Rather than the knees going down and out, lift them up a little bit, just enough so you feel some tone on the outer hips. And then you'll press the elbows down, press your feet down, and lift your hips up. You want to feel like you're lifted in the sling of your outer hip muscles. No tension in the groins, no strain on the knees. And after a few breaths, lower down. Do that 2 or 3 more times. When I first started doing this one, I could only hold for like 3 breaths. It was incredibly challenging because I didn't have any strength in these outer hip muscles, which is part of the reason my SI joint was always so wonky and I couldn't get my pelvic floor to turn on consistently. Okay, now one more. Lift. Again, tone in the outer hips. Keep the chin down enough that the back of your neck is long and you have a very slight tone in the back center of throat. Very good. And then lower down. Use your hands to bring your knees back together. And then roll on to whatever side allows you to see the video. I'm going to move my microphone so you can still hear me. Clamshells are next. So I'm going to rest my head on my arm, and the back hand is going to go on my sacrum, and it's going to keep me from tilting. And you're going to keep the inner edge of your feet together and just lift and lower the leg very slowly, as if you have a resistance band on your thighs, which we do in the pelvic floor practice. And you want to feel like a bullseye of engagement on the outer hip, and it's unlikely you'll get it until around 5 or 8 or maybe even 12. Resist any gripping in the inner thigh line or groin. Again, direct hit to the outer hip muscles, which is glute med, glute min. And for me, hand on sacrum keeps me honest about what I'm doing there. After another 1 or 2, you're going to change sides and you're just going to roll over. You'll be able to see where I place the hand on this side. And so hand on sacrum. So this is keeping me stable, steady here. So I'm not using my low back at all. And then I lift and lower the leg without any tilting or rocking or sinking. Again, I'm looking for that engagement, kind of like a bullseye on the outer hip. Trying to stay soft in the groins. And sometimes I'll need to move my head forward, get a little more rounded in the upper body so the back body stays full, and then I actually get more out of the outer hip too. And this is helping us get out of that rib flare butt back pattern. Engaging the outer hips will help stabilize the pelvis. And then you're going to be able to keep the sitting bones grounded, pelvis even, and your pelvic floor will restore its natural spring. Okay, last thing, come onto your back. Hands on lower ribs. And we're going to be exhaling and pulling the front ribs in and down. Resist rounding or collapsing in the chest or the throat or getting really grippy in the buttocks. You want it to be coming from the abdominals to the best of your ability. So hands on ribs, knees up, shins up. Take an inhale here. Exhale through pursed lips like you're breathing through a straw. Ribs come in and down. It's a little bit of tone at the folds of the buttocks as the sitting bones reach to the backs of the knees. Do 2 more like that. It is easier with something underneath your head. A pillow or a block, 1 more. And then you're going to start to pedal the feet. You're going to inhale. And then exhale, extend the right leg out. And inhale, bring the right leg back in. Exhale, extend the left leg out. And inhale, bring the left leg back in. Keep your hands on the ribs if you need that reminder, or put the hands on your thighs and keep going with your rhythm. Inhale when you bring the leg in. Exhale when you extend the leg out. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Last one. Exhale, inhale, exhale. And then knees into your chest, rock a little bit side to side. You can practice all of these poses together so they're like a sequence, or you can sprinkle them into your day or other movement modalities that you do. If you want to learn more, watch the Pelvic Floor Power podcast. If you want to practice more, use the Pelvic Floor Power practice.